Okay, folks. Sorry we're a minute late. Some issues with the streaming software and YouTube. Good morning. Welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5:03 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's begin with first the pre-market activity. Then we'll segue over and into some members stock chart requests, which I'm going to bring up right now. All right, so this morning we are seeing the S&Ps. This is a 4-hour chart. These will all be 4-hour charts. S&Ps are pulling back off the highs of yesterday's session. No shock. This bar here, note that it's 5:04 in the a.m. now. This bar, a 4-hour bar, just opened up 4 minutes ago and will close at 9 a.m. Do we hold this support level? I don't know. Nearly 4 hours to go. It should be noted that we closed down below this now new resistance level, the last 4-hour bar. RSI hooking up. That's good stuff. So price action, it appears as though we are in the stages of putting in a higher low, opening stages. I'm not ready to put my nickel down yet, saying that, yeah, this is it, this is the bottom, we're ready to go here. But things are evolving. Let's check out the NASDAQ 100 / trip Qs. They're down about a half percentage point. Very similar price action as to what we're seeing on the S&P 500. Possibly a higher low. Help me out here. Come on. Oh, there we go. And all we're doing right now, folks, is that we're drawing our lines in the sand. The big question out there is the correction over? I don't know. We're going to let the charts tell us. The charts will let us know when the correction is over. Higher lows in RSI. Now what we're looking for, as we see these higher lows on RSI and on the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ 100 price, now it's time to hold the markets accountable. If they want our investment dollar, hold our trades back some, show some discipline, and wait for, after we have a higher low, now we want a higher high. And once we start getting those and the daily charts begin to firm up, then we can add risk. Right now, I've been saying this to members, I just want to sit, watch, wait. And sometimes that's the most difficult thing to do, especially for new traders. There are no merit badges for virtue signaling in the stock market. Let's take a look at the Russell. Same deal here. Higher lows across the board. One difference with the Russell, RSI has a higher high. and a higher low. I don't know why this is giving me a hard time today. There we go. But what's the trend here? Let's clean all this up. Let's get rid of all this. What do we want to see? Simple. We want a breakout. That's all we're looking for, is a breakout. This one failed, this one failed, this one failed. Will this fail? We don't know. We're not that smart. And we're not going to put the pressure on ourselves to hope by buying that this is the bottom when we should fear. You can see that several times these last previous 3 or 4 4-hour bars, we attempted to break out only to be rejected. Let's avoid that behavior of hoping when we should fear. Let's turn to commodities. Before we go to commodities, we want to take a look at the US dollar first, giving us a feel for probabilities, a better feel for whether a rally in commodities has traction, because they generally trade inversely of the US dollar. And you can see the dollar was monkey hammered yesterday. It is getting hit again today. And as I've been saying to members, while we've had a rally of late in the US dollar, it's a trend that has not been broken. We've been in a trend, a downtrend that has not been broken. This short-term rally in the dollar has been only a trade to the long side, a counter-trend move. And I think that in all probability, we're going to head lower as the Fed prints more money. Bitcoin, not that it's a commodity, it held that 10,000 mark we were looking for. All right, now to commodities. Let's talk about oil. Oil is very, very critical to a stock market rally. We're down in the session, a little over 3/4 of a percentage point. Potential higher low here. We have resistance above, so still major concerns about oil. It has stopped going down. Now it needs to put in higher lows, and it needs to recapture the support level. Then we can have a conversation about as to whether or not oil is moving back up. Gold. You would think that gold would be performing better with a weak US dollar, but it's not. It's consolidating. It appears as though it's just backing and filling here a bit, getting ready to take on the 1960 mark. I'm loving the RSI. We had a really good day with our gold mining trade yesterday. So once we begin to see gold break out above 1960 and more importantly close there on a daily basis, then we could look to add more to our precious metal position. Palladium. It had broken out back here in late August. No real follow-through. It attempted to follow through here, but it was rejected as the dollar gained strength. Platinum. Nothing happening here. Silver, of which we are long. Remember yesterday morning I drew these trip wires in yellow. We cleaned this all up. New support and resistance lines. And we broke out. We are still in a trading range on silver, but it's looking pretty good. Up nearly a half percentage point. A quick look at ag. Corn has resumed its uptrend. Looking pretty good here. Soybeans, same deal. Soybeans are really ripping. But there's no inflation, folks. That's what the Fed says. No inflation. Things need to get more expensive. How nefarious is that? But the charts are showing us ag is moving up. Look at the stock market. Think there's inflation in the stock market? Think companies are overvalued? You're paying too much for stocks? Apparently that's not what the Fed thinks. 10-year Treasury note up slightly, but we do have lower highs here. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see a breakdown or a breakout. It's really speaking out of both sides of my mouth, but we're in a fairly tight trading range and a volatile trading range at that. We did see new daily lows on bonds yesterday. And with that, the banks behaved fairly well. JP Morgan, I was asked about, looks pretty good. Bullish key reversal bar on the day yesterday. So, a mixed morning. Commodities looking good. Stocks remain under a bit of pressure. They're trying to put in higher lows. We don't really have higher highs yet, at least on price. So we remain in a show-me environment. The market needs to show us that it can close near the highs of the day. The stochastics on a daily basis, which are a complete and utter basket case for the major averages, need to begin to firm up, flatten out, and hook back up. We're not there yet. So expect backing and filling. Let's go to some chart requests. And we'll begin with first Majestic Silver for new member Chris. Folks, we'll be using TrendSpider automated technical analysis at its finest. I use it all the time. I use it for my alerts, as you can see here. This is new, seasonality, huge to have. Analyst ratings, brand new. And I call it my spell check for technical analysis because of the automated trend lines. And there you go. You're not familiar with technical analysis? Sign up for TrendSpider. There's a link below, 35% off. The lowest price on the web. They have specials, which end, I get 35% off because I do so much business with them. So take advantage of it and use these automated trend lines. I use them all the time to validate the accuracy of my analysis. And many times it picks up support and resistance levels that I may overlook. And if you want to, on a weekly chart, take a look at where there may be monthly support and resistance, you could overlay on top of a weekly chart monthly support and resistance. In this case, you have support below in dashed line on a monthly basis, but you're looking at a weekly chart. This is a powerful, powerful tool. And it's what really first attracted me to Trend Spider. So again, take advantage of their 7-day free trial offer using the link below in the video description area. It is also free to my silver and gold level members. Let's get to, before we go to First Majestic, I want to talk about TCON. I really like this chart. It fired off an alert yesterday. It triggered here. And I'm not sure whether or not, because I didn't go back and take a look, whether or not it did what I wanted it to do. And it did. It did. So what we were looking for yesterday, and this is the value of these alerts, is here. What we did first off yesterday was we took a look at TCON on a monthly basis, as we always do. Always taking a look at that higher level view. We want to take a look at where a stock has been to identify where it may be going. Always. And you can see that we broke out. We stopped going down. Then we broke out. Hey, Trent, good morning. Daniel, good morning. We'll take a look at Workhorse. We've been looking at that in the past. I know that it's on the Twitter sphere a lot lately. People sending up charts of Workhorse. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I guess it's the stock du jour. I haven't really looked at it in the past few days. But we'll take a look at it, Daniel. All right, so back to TCON. We broke out. Very powerful move. And that's what attracted us to it. Because we have been in a long-term downtrend. It appears as though that downtrend may be coming to an end. Drilling down further to a weekly chart, we have broken out. And that led me to set up some alerts because I love early stage breakouts. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to see a retest of support after this breakout here on the 8th. We got it yesterday. We were higher, and this is the one thing that keeps me a bit reluctant to go entering right away this morning on TCON, is that we were higher on the day, yet we were rejected. Right up here at around $4 a share. And I'm trying to bring up some automated trend lines. Nothing really historically above that they're picking up. Let's pull back here. Let's go back to a monthly chart, because maybe Trend Spider may not have enough data, but we can certainly do a manual analysis of the chart. Yeah. So going back here, we have resistance above Okay, let's go back here. Sorry to spend some time on here because I'm actually interested in the stock and I want to know exactly where my resistance points are. All right, so here we go. So we have two to three resistance points above. One here at 4.24, then above here at around $4.50 the share. All right, so we know what we're dealing with here. So me, I would be looking for, let's take this off. We're going to remove the old alert. We're going to set up a new alert. I want to see another retest. There's no glory in buying, hoping, when you should fear, when you have a topping tail like that. And to be fair, we do have a bottoming tail as well, so we had buyers below. But let's see if we can get another retest here. And I think that we will. I think the odds are favorable. And we'll keep it active a couple of days. So there we go. I have two alerts set up here. One on a retest of where we closed yesterday. Ideally, we pop up higher, pull back, retest yet again. Or two, we retest this lower band of support here. One of the two. In terms of seasonality, August is a strong month. We drop down in September. 50% of the time we're up. So 50-50 bet we close up this month. And it's on thin data. Let's see if I can get more. No. Only goes back to 2015. So thin data on seasonality. But I still like to trade. That's why our alerts are up there. Let's move on and go to first Majestic, which I meant to go with first. No breakout yet. Monthly basis. The power of the automated trend lines. Watch. No trend lines. Trend lines. We're certainly off the lows of the month. We don't want to see that support level broken at $10.84. Critical support. Now what we're looking for is a breakout above this upper band of resistance. Weekly chart. See how we're looking so far this week. Very, very good. So here's our upper band of resistance, our lower band of support. Ideally, next week, we pull back and do a retest of support. I'm doing AG right now. And why? Good morning to you. Okay. So I want to know when we touch, bounce. That's a buy signal for me next week. Not so much this week, but next week. I want to see a retest. Then I want to add more. Oh, look at that. They're going to let me set up the alert. They fixed this. Cool. At one point in time, I was able to set up an alert on a manually drawn 45-degree resistance level. Then I wasn't able to, and it appears as though they have resolved that, which is outstanding because it was driving me crazy. These guys are constantly working on this. I'm on my first cup too, pal. Don't worry about it. I can only imagine the number of mistakes I make. That's why I don't like to go back and watch these later in the day, because sometimes I'm like, oh my God. I was calling, was it on Tuesday evening? I was saying, expect a turnaround Tuesday. And I think I may have even said it yesterday morning as well, except that we're going into a Wednesday, or it was Wednesday. Okay. We'll keep this active for a few days. All right, so Here's our kill zone. We want to see a retest of support and or a breakout above this upper band of resistance. And for those wondering, what is he talking about? The flattening out of Stokes. This is what it looks like right here. We're beginning to flatten out and hook up and put in a higher low. This is powerful. Also, you're seeing a flattening out and a double bottom setup on RSI. The only thing I don't like is that we have a lower low. However, that gets resolved if we take out the prior high here. So first Majestic, looking good. But let's wait for retest or breakout. Our alerts are set. Take note of, on a daily chart, Stokes hooking up, RSI hooking up. So we're looking good here moving forward. The dollar is weak, and that's what we're looking for. I don't know how much we have in terms of historical data here for September into October. September, not a seasonally strong month, up only 17% of the times, but that's only over 6 years. Let's see if we have any more data. Sometimes it doesn't default to the oldest date, and it didn't. We can go back to 2006, and that's 14 years worth of data. So still, September, a seasonally weak period of time, but we increase in October. December is the most powerful month, followed by the month of May. So seasonally, we begin to improve in early winter, then into spring. But I think that given the trajectory of the U.S. dollar, First Majestic is going to have a good year. BGIC, especially if they have a contested election. And I think that's all but, at this point, sadly, very sadly, a foregone conclusion. All right, this is another request. BigCommerce Holdings, they reported earnings yesterday, I believe. And they were down. They had good earnings, but their forward-looking guidance was not good. You know, so in a situation like this, you have to let people... That's a good question. And why? It's a very good question. I want to suggest that they add that. That's a very good point. So we need to. I wouldn't go buying a pullback here. I would wait to see how we close out the day. If we close at the lows of the day, then I would avoid. We're trading pre-market 84.55. So we're making a new daily low. Next support level is down at $80 per share. You can see it was resistance here, pulled back, resistance again, broke out, support back here. Now we are trading down below support. It appears as though this is where we're going, down to around $80 a share. So I would be a spectator here, not a player. Now on a 4-hour chart, automated trend lines are saying that we have a bit of support here. We're trading just above it at current. This is not firm support. There's very little data in this chart. It's a fairly new issue, an IPO. So I would defer to that $80 per share mark because there's more history at that support level. All TrendSpider's doing right now is picking up on this prior low, extrapolating out to this low, and I don't have all that much confidence that this support level is going to hold. I would wait for $80 a share on BIGC and then see whether or not that holds. SPR. Spirit. Let's pull back here. Let's do our monthly analysis. The airlines did not have a good day yesterday. Despite the strength in the U.S. stock market, they were showing relative strength during the S&P sell-off, but they did not participate yesterday. So at current, we're down on the month, just off the lows of the month. And they're waiting for a bailout. I'm not sure what the status is on that. I think American Airlines is even looking for a larger bailout than what is being negotiated. Weekly chart. We're still making lower lows. Here's what bothers me is that we were able to put together a rally, and now we've broken support. Daily chart. Yeah. Here's support broken. We broke on the 8th, followed through to the downside yesterday. I'm not seeing the compelling reason to get long at current. I like to validate my charts by using two separate pieces of software before I give a definitive answer at times. And what concerns me here was yesterday's rising volume. We broke support, and our Stokes are rolling back down below 50 yet again. Now, the only saving grace I see here for Spirit, it would send a loud signal to the market, because this is pretty. We had a higher low, a W formation set up. It appeared as though after this bullish reversal bar, we were going to get a follow-through. It didn't happen. If we manage to put in another higher low, that would be bullish. We have support immediately below at 19.09. Where do we close? 19.41. So if we pull back and retest at 19.09, reverse on the day to close at the highs of the day, you'll see these Stokes hook up. And that would be a signal that, you know what, maybe we are putting in a bottom here, and you're seeing buyers move in. If we break 1909, you know, at that point in time, you have to wonder, is 1776 going to hold? Because in all probability, it's going to get retested. So I would wait for a bullish key reversal bar, and I would not be a buyer as these Stokes are declining and trading down below 50. Let them hook up. All right, WKHS, we'll leave off with that one. And then I'm going to go get my second cup of coffee. All right, so no wonder why it's on the Twitter sphere. It's ripping through the ceiling. It held support. We had set an alert up here, waiting for a breakout. We got the breakout, retested. Very powerful stuff. Very powerful chart. Weekly breakout, outstanding. Here, higher lows on Stokes, higher lows RSI, validating the price action. We've broken through a major volume shelf. Not much in terms of overhead supply, meaning buyers looking to get made whole. Daily chart. The only negative I could say about Workhorse Group is that we're flirting with the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. I really don't buy stocks when they're trading at around that neighborhood because, I'll say the technical jargon, they're just simply not supposed to be there. That doesn't mean we can't trade sideways for a day, alleviating that overbought condition. Look what they did back here with the stock. The third standard deviation Bollinger Band is shown in red. So could they do it again? Sure. So if you get a pullback, you're a good momentum trader, you're going to use a trailing stop loss order, buy the pullback because it looks as though it's going higher. So I'm pretty bullish on it. The only negative is where it's trading relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. A bit extended there. Otherwise, it's got more upside potential with no overhead supply, and that is very, very important. And folks, with that, I'm going to say have a profitable trading day. Please smash the like button. Follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, wherever else you see me, Instagram. And again, have a profitable trading day. Thanks for joining. Be well.